There's currently a total of 13 missing subclasses from the classes that we currently have access to in early access as of patch 8. Larian Studios has said that they will be including all subclasses from the 5th edition Player's Handbook. So in today's video, I'm going to go over all of the subclasses that we're missing out on that should be present in the game at the latest on its official release. Do note that I'm only going to focus on the subclass specific features, so if you're new to the D&D class system, just know that there's a lot more to these classes as a whole than what I'm going to talk about in this video. As always, chapter markers will be below, and oh yeah, half-orcs rock. Starting off with the Cleric class, we currently have access to Light, Trickery, and Life Domain Clerics, and you get to make this choice right away at level 1. But this leaves out Knowledge Domain Clerics, Nature Clerics, Tempest Clerics, and War Domain Clerics. Knowledge Clerics value learning and understanding above all. They study esoteric lore, collect old tombs, and delve into the secret places of the planet to learn all that they possibly can. Each cleric subclass gets a list of subclass-specific spells that will be prepared for your cleric at all times, and these are the spells for the Knowledge Domain Cleric. At level 1, Knowledge Domain Clerics gain proficiency in 2 skills out of the choices of Arcana, History, Nature, or Religion. At level 2, they get a channel divinity called Knowledge of the Ages, which lets them use an action to gain proficiency with 1 skill or tool for a limited amount of time. And at level 6, they get the channel divinity called Read Thoughts, which allows a knowledge cleric to read the thoughts of a targeted creature that fails at a wisdom saving throw. Now, how Baldur's Gate 3 implements this, I'm not entirely sure, but it is possible that with this channel divinity, you may also be able to cast a spell called Suggestion on the targeted creature without expending a spell slot. Knowledge Clerics are all about the mind, and this goes for combat and non-combat situations alike. At level 8, Knowledge Clerics get Potent Spellcasting, which allows them to add their Wisdom modifier to the damage that they deal with any cleric cantrip. And after level 8, you don't get any knowledge-specific features until level 17, and we're probably not going to be seeing that level, so I'll leave it at that. Nature Domain Clerics hunt the evil monstrosities that despoil the woodlands. They bless the harvest of the faithful, or even wither the crops of those who anger their gods. These are your Druid-like clerics, and you can see with the list of Nature Domain spells that you gain access to as you level up. A lot of Druid spells in there. At level 1, Nature Clerics get to learn 1 Druid cantrip of their choice, and they gain proficiency in 1 skill from the choices of Animal Handling, Nature, or Survival. Also at level 1, a Nature Cleric gains proficiency with Heavy Armor. There's only a few cleric subclasses that do this. At level 2 comes the channel divinity called Charm Animals and Plants, which is basically an AoE charm on plants and animals if they fail a wisdom saving throw. Level 6 is the Nature Cleric's Dampen Elements feature, which lets them use their reaction to gain or give out resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage when themselves or a friendly is hit by one of these types of damage. We'll of course have to wait to see what Larian does with reactions before we know exactly how this one will work. And at level 8, Nature Clerics get Divine Strike, giving them the ability to infuse their weapon strikes with divine energy. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can cause the attack to deal an extra 1d8 cold, fire, or lightning damage, and this damage increases at level 14. Remember this feature because some of the other cleric subclasses also get this in their own theme. Tempest Clerics are sent by their gods to inspire fear in the common folk, either to keep those folk on the path of righteousness, or encourage them to offer sacrifices of propitiation to ward off divine wrath. Here's a list of the Tempest Domain spells, which as you can see it includes a lot of powerful elemental energy. At level 1, Tempest Clerics gain proficiency with martial weapons and heavy armor. They also get Wrath of the Storm, which is a reaction that deals 2d8 thunder damage to an enemy that attacks them in very close range if that enemy fails a dexterity saving throw. Wrath of the Storm can be used a number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier, and it recharges on a long rest. Tempest Cleric's channel divinity at level 2 is called Destructive Wrath, which allows them to deal maximum damage when they use a spell or feature that rolls lightning or thunder damage. At level 6, they get Thunderbolt Strike, which makes it so that when they deal lightning damage to a large or smaller creature, they can also push that creature up to 10 feet away. That could be very useful in Baldur's Gate 3. And at level 8, Tempest Clerics get Divine Strike, just like the Nature Cleric did, but this time they get to deal extra thunder damage when they hit a creature with a weapon attack. And the last missing subclass, but certainly not the least, is the War Domain Cleric. War clerics are clerics that have been blessed by the gods of war and they excel in battle. This is their spell list, and as you can see, most of the spells are spells that are designed for battle damage and defense. At level 1, they get proficiency with martial weapons and heavy armor, and they gain a feature called War Priest, which allows them to make one weapon attack as a bonus action when they use the attack action. This can be done a number of times equal to their wisdom modifier per each long rest. A war cleric's channel divinity at level 2 is called Guided Strike, which gives them a +10 to an attack roll. At level 6, they get another channel divinity called War God's Blessing, and what this does is it allows the war cleric to bless a friendly, giving them a +10 bonus to their attack roll at the cost of the cleric's reaction. And lastly, at level 8, war clerics also get Divine Strike, but the bonus damage is 1d8 of the same type that's dealt by the weapon to the target. But before I move on to the fighter, I just want to quickly mention Death Clerics, as they are in the Dungeon Master's Guidebook. Death Clerics are clerics concerned with the forces that cause death, as well as the negative energy that gives rise to undead creatures. I'm going to stop there because this subclass is not in the player's handbook. It's possible that we could see it, but I'm not really entirely sure. Would be pretty sweet though. For the fighter class in Baldur's Gate 3, at class level 3, we currently get access to the Battlemaster and the Eldritch Knight subclasses, which leaves out the Champion subclass. Champion fighters focus on the development of raw physical power honed to deadly perfection. They combine rigorous training with physical excellence to deal devastating blows. Right upon choosing this class, champion fighters get improved critical, which allows them to get a critical hit with a roll of 19 or 20 on their attack roll. At level 7, champion fighters become remarkable athletes, allowing them to add half of their proficiency bonus to any strength, dexterity, or constitution check that they make that doesn't already use their proficiency bonus. Their jump distance is also increased by a number equal to their strength modifier. At level 10, champion fighters get to choose an additional fighting style from the choices that all fighters get at level 1, and the fighting styles are archery, defense, dueling, great weapon fighting, protection, and two-weapon fighting. With the champion, you will be a master of 2 of those. And lastly, at level 15, if we get to this level, champions get superior critical, which now allows them to score a critical hit with a roll of 18, 19, or 20. You better watch out if you're facing a champion because the crits are coming. The Rogue class gets to choose their subclass at level 3, and we currently have access to the Thief and the Magical Arcane Trickster. The missing subclass that we should expect to see at some point is called the Assassin. Assassin rogues focus their training on the grim art of death. They use stealth, poison, and disguise to eliminate foes with deadly proficiency. When choosing this subclass at level 3, Assassin rogues get proficiency with Disguise kits and Poisoner kits, both of which I have yet to see in Baldur's Gate 3. They also get a feature called Assassinate, which gives them advantage on attack rolls against any creature that has not taken a turn in combat yet. And additionally, if you score a hit against a creature that is surprised, so if you catch them unexpectedly and succeed on your attack roll, you get an automatic critical hit. Really powerful way to start a combat encounter. At level 9, assassins get infiltration expertise, which allows them to unfailingly create false identities of themselves. In BG3, this will probably just be giving assassins the disguise self-spell. At level 13, they get Imposter, which gives them the ability to now unerringly mimic another person's speech, writing, and behavior. Now, how Larian implements this, or if they even do, I of course do not know, but I'm sure that they can come up with something creative. For the Warlock class, we get to choose our subclass, or should I say patron, right away at level 1, and we currently have access to the Fiend and the Great Old One. I should also point out that the Great Old One is currently missing its level 1 Awakened Mind feature, at least it was the last time I checked. The patron choice or subclass choice that is missing is called the Archfey. Choosing this subclass will make your patron a lord or lady of the Fey. These are creatures that hold secrets that were forgotten before the mortal races were born. Choosing the Archfey will expand the Warlock spell list to include these spells. And these are not spells that you'll automatically learn and have prepared like you do with the Cleric subclasses. These are just new Fey-inspired spells that expand your choice list. At level 1, Archfey Warlocks get Fey Presence, which allows them to use an action to cause a creature within 10 feet of themselves to become charmed or frightened if they fail a Wisdom save. They can use Fey Presence once per short or long rest. At level 6, Fey Warlocks get Misty Escape, giving them the ability to use their reaction to turn invisible and teleport up to 60 feet away when they take damage. This can also be used once per short or long rest. At level 10 comes Beguiling Defenses, which makes Archfey Warlocks immune to being charmed, and when another creature attempts to charm the Fey Warlock, that Warlock can turn the charm back on that creature. At level 14, this patron choice gets Dark Delirium, allowing them to use their action to charm or frighten a creature within 60 feet if they fail a wisdom save. You can hold this charm or frighten condition on that creature for up to 1 minute of concentration, and this can be used once per short or long rest. In the last class that is missing subclasses, and I should say several subclasses, is the Wizard class. Wizards get to choose their arcane tradition at level 2, and we currently have access to the Evocation School and the Abjuration School. This leaves out Conjuration, Divination, Enchantment, Illusion, Necromancy, and Transmutation. A wizard that chooses Conjuration favors spells that produce objects and creatures out of thin air. As their mastery grows, they learn spells of transportation and can teleport themselves across vast distances and even to other planes of existence. At level 2, Conjuration Wizards gain Minor Conjuration, allowing them to use their action to conjure up a fairly small inanimate object in their hand or on the ground. This spell gives the player a lot of agency in D&D, so it'll be interesting to see what Larian does for it, or if they even implement it. At level 6, Conjuration Wizards get Benign Transposition, allowing them to use their action to teleport up to 30 feet away. You can even use this to swap spots with a willing creature, which could make it a great feature to use if your wizard is caught on the front lines. At level 10, Conjuration Wizards get Focused Conjuration, making it so that their concentration spells cannot be broken as a result of taking damage when they're concentrating on a conjuration spell. And lastly, at level 14, they get Durable Summons, making any creature that they summon or create with a conjuration spell have 30 temporary hit points. Divination Wizards seek a clearer understanding of the past, present, and future. They strive to part the veils of space and time and consciousness, and they master spells of discernment, remote viewing, supernatural knowledge, and foresight. At level 2, Divination Wizards get Portent, allowing them to roll 2d20s after a long rest, and the results of those rolls can be used to replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by the Divination Wizard or one of their allies in the future. Now, how Larian implements this, not really sure, but could be pretty cool and, of course, very useful. At level 6, Divination Wizards get Expert Divination, allowing them to regain 1 expended spell slot when they cast a divination spell of 2nd level or higher. The spell slot that they regain must be of a lower level than the spell that they cast. Really nice feature. Level 10 brings the Third Eye feature, allowing a Divination Wizard to increase their powers of perception by gaining one of the following features, and these last until a short or long rest. They can gain Dark Vision, gain Ethereal Sight, allowing them to see into the ethereal plane, so essentially seeing ghosts, and also gain See Invisibility, which allows the wizard to see invisible creatures within 10 feet of themselves. Lastly, at level 14, they gain Greater Portent, allowing them to now roll 3 d20s after a long rest that can be used to replace future d20 rolls on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. Enchantment Wizards have honed their ability to magically entrance and beguile other people and monsters. Some become peacemakers, bewitching the violent to lay down their arms, while others become tyrants, binding others to their service. At level 2, Enchantment Wizards get Hypnotic Gaze, allowing them to use an action to charm a creature within 5 feet of themselves. If that creature fails a wisdom save, they will be charmed, they can't move, and they're incapacitated and visibly dazed. On subsequent turns, the wizard can use their action to maintain this effect, but it will end if the wizard moves more than 5 feet away. At level 6, Enchantment Wizards get Instinctive Charm, allowing them to use their reaction on a creature that makes an attack roll against themselves, causing that creature to do a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, the attacker must target the creature that is closest to it, not including you. This can only be used once per long rest. At level 10 comes the Split Enchantment feature, allowing a Divination Wizard to target a second creature when they cast an enchantment spell that typically only targets one creature. And lastly, at level 14, the Enchanter gets Alter Memories, which basically allows the wizard to charm a creature without that creature being aware of it being charmed after the effect ends, among some other effects that I'm not sure how Larian would replicate. Illusion wizards focus their studies on magic that dazzle the senses, befuddle the mind, and trick even the wisest of folks. Some are benign tricksters, while others are more sinister masters of deception. At level 2, illusionists gain improved minor illusion, allowing them to learn the minor illusion cantrip, which will not count against their number of cantrips known. In 5th edition, the minor illusion spell with this feature creates both a sound and an image with a single cast. At level 6, illusionists get malleable illusions, allowing them to change the nature of an illusion spell, and that spell has to be one that lasts longer than 1 minute. In simple terms, you can change your creation into a different creation without having to expend a spell slot. At level 5 comes Illusory Self, allowing an illusionist to create a duplicate of themselves. When a creature makes an attack roll against an illusion wizard, that wizard can use their reaction to interpose the duplicate between the attacker and themselves, making the attack technically miss and the illusion will also dissipate. This can be used once per short or long rest. At level 14, illusionists get Illusory Reality, making their illusion spells real for a limited amount of time, which is 1 minute in D&D. An example here would be creating an illusion of a bridge, but this bridge would be actually real for 1 minute, allowing your party to quickly cross. Pretty cool feature. Now let's talk about wizards that become experts in the school of necromancy, and I did talk about this recently in a video. I'll leave a link to that below. Necromancer wizards explore the cosmic forces of life, death, and undeath. They learn to sap the life force from creatures and manipulate the energy that animates all living things. At level 2, necromancers get Grim Harvest, allowing them to regain hit points when they kill one or more creatures with a spell. At level 6, they get Undead Thralls, adding the Animate Dead spell to their list, and giving it additional benefits such as higher hit point maximum, and the animated creature gets to add your proficiency bonus to their damage rolls. Level 10 brings with it Inured to Undeath, giving necromancers resistance to necrotic damage, and making it so that their hit point maximum cannot be reduced. And lastly, necromancers get Command Undead at level 14, allowing them to use an action to bring undead under their control. If an undead fails a charisma save, they become friendly to the necromancer and obey their commands. And the last subclass in this video is the wizard's arcane tradition called Transmutation. Transmutation wizards become experts in spells that modify energy and matter. They wield the raw stuff of creation and learn to alter both physical forms and mental qualities. At level 2, a transmutation wizard gets Minor Alchemy, allowing them to temporarily alter the physical properties of one magical object, changing it from one substance into another. At level 6, they get Transmuter's Stone, which allows them to create a stone that gives them, or whoever they give the stone to, one of the following benefits: Dark Vision, an increase in speed, proficiency in Constitution saving throws, or resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. Each time the Transmutation Wizard casts a transmutation spell, they can also change the effect of the stone if they are holding the stone in their own possession. At level 10, these wizards gain Shape Changer, which adds the Polymorph spell to their spell list if it's not already there. They also get to cast Polymorph without expending a spell slot once per short or long rest. And lastly comes the Master Transmuter feature at level 14, allowing the wizard to use their action to consume the reserve of transmutation magic stored within their stone. The stone will be destroyed, but the wizard will gain one of the following benefits: Major Transformation, which allows the wizard to transmute one non-magical object into another. Panacea, which removes all curses, disease, and poisons affecting a creature that they touch with the stone, and this creature will also regain all of its hit points. Restore Life allows the wizard to touch a creature with the stone, casting the Raise Dead spell. And the last one is Restore Youth, which reduces a creature's age, but that probably won't be in the game. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Now, there are a few other subclasses that are missing from the game, but those fall under the Paladin and the Monk class. I did talk about both of those classes and their subclasses in my most recent video. Link to that will be below. Have a wonderful day.